Yeah, hello. Corner piece. I'm doing a hyper-realistic drawing of a very dear person to me. I hope you like it. Hello, Dachiri. Good morning, how are you? That's good to hear. Thank you for joining my live. Where are you watching from? Dachiri. What does what's the meaning of your name? First time seeing it or hearing it. Is this the Ama I know? Ama Mansa. Which Ama is this, please? Jacob. What's your YouTube tag, Ama? Jacob from where? Yeah, I know. I just want to know where I met you at. Oh, we've never met.
We let the military kill it, and then we collect a sample of the weaponized DNA. And we sell.
To the extent of making.
Apart from being a returning officer, he presides over the first sitting of Parliament for the election of a speaker. The clerk issues.
Goal kick to the Senegalese, but if I was a Senegalese player, I'd be thinking to myself, let's put Masole under some pressure, because that was not the best, as smart as the most confidence-inspiring bit of goalkeeping.
Exactly. We could say some of the mistakes she's been making, all those aerial draws, she should take care of them, but that is not happening. So I think Senegal should, pump in some of those aerial balls for them to, actually make something out of it.
There's just a little hold up in play, which means something is being checked. Let's have a look. Swung in this cross. Was it?
That's a handball.
You think there's a handball in there, says Bizarre Operanesier, the former Nigeria goalkeeper. Let's have a look here. So there, hit the hand of Nachula, does it? Well, she wasn't looking at the ball. There was certainly no intent, but these days it doesn't seem to matter too much. It was Diop who had the header, headed it against the arm of Rachel Nachula. And there may well be cheers to my right-hand side from the Senegalese contingent if Vincentia Amadon decides to go and have a look at the VAR screen. And we have 2 goals in the opening 12 minutes of the first half. Well, we went for that again. At the bottom of your screen, you can see the VAR check is ongoing. It would be pretty harsh in some ways if this was given, but these days any handball inside the box does tend to result in a penalty. Your thoughts, Desire? You spotted that very instantly.
Yeah, it does result in penalty, most especially if the ball seems to be going into the goal, because in this case I think that's what it looks like. That ball probably was on its way to inside the goal, and then the hand may have obstructed it. I think the referee is going to give this one, I think so.
Okay, of course. The former Nigeria great. Alongside me, well, Musole came and completely missed it. Jock just saying that she wants to feel scary in the box, and that's where she feels alive. And that was a really good header. Kept her eye on it, trying to guide it just inside that near post. No doubt about the fact that it has hit the right wrist of the Chula, the Zambian fullback. And a lengthy look at this from the Togolese official. Back and forth we go. Well, it was Senegal who led early on in the first period for Zambia to draw level. After Zambia had gone ahead and come from behind to do so, it may well be the Senegalese who picked them back from 12 yards. Well, this is taking some time, but a decision has been made. And what will it be? All eyes on the Togolese official, a long-standing FIFA referee. She's issuing a yellow card to Nora Coutlet, and that's simply frustration from the Swiss coach, because she's just seen her side forge ahead, deservedly so. Very, very possible that they're going to find themselves at level in just a few moments from now. But no, it has not been given. Well, what on earth do you make of that, Desire Operenozia? You're shaking your head as you look at me.
I mean, that was obviously a good scoring opportunity. That ball was probably going in, and I know it wasn't an intentional handball, but then, I mean, the referee have made a decision, so we have to respect it.
Very diplomatically put. Well, Zambia possibly having got away with one. Interesting decision. She stays with her on-field decision with Vincentia Amadon. You don't always see that. Often they trudge to the VAR screen. It's only one thing. Not on this occasion. I think the most relieved woman in the stadium right now will be Rachel Michula. It'll be very interesting to hear the thoughts of Mama Musa Cisse, Senegalese coach, after the game about that. Chindananji, Banda, touched him. Two-touch by Njai. And Senegal are going to make a substitution as they try and find a way back into this game. Well, Mete Conde, who just sits deep in that midfield, is coming off. Coming on in her place is Fatimata Dramé, who played in the opening game and was dropped to the bench this time around. Also coming on, another who was dropped from the first game, Hafsatu Malado Jallo, based in Turkey with Galatasaray, and Kase, the young striker, who was thrust into action in this game. Well, it's not really come off for her. Cisse has made his changes. Malado will take up a position on the left-hand side, and this has got a far more familiar feel to it from the Senegalese. Malado on the left, Geno on the right. Drop down the middle as Sek tries to find with the back of the net from distance. That was going to have been some strike from the midfielder. Casse, who's just been off, did score a brace on her debut in May, and then followed it up with a goal in Senegal's final warm-up before this tournament, and like of what have been inspired Cisse to thrust her in. And he's reverted to type now. Here is Sek. Sané forward. That's a lovely touch inside to Ngena. She goes down, and there reclaims arms outstretched from Cisse, the Senegalese coach, for a spot kick. She's still down on the floor. Ngena. This will be looked at. And Banda, well, she can't keep that in. We have another decision for the referee. Ngena, Njai, on the ground. Look at that touch from Mama Diop. The question here is how much of the ball did the demo again, how much of the man, and there was a super challenge from that guy. Yours, Desire?
Yeah, it was a great challenge from Tembo. I mean, her only business was to clear the ball, and she did that. I don't think there was a contact on Diop.
It was a risky challenge, let's be fair, but she had to get it exactly right, and she did.
Yeah, it was quite risky, but she did the job.
Smart defending from Martha Tembo, who played every minute of Zambia's 2023 Women's World Cup campaign. During in her third Nations Cup. Played both Olympics as well, just a key cog in the Zambian backline. Showing her experience, years of them, right there. Shot, thumbstick, it takes it off the toes from Tembo again. Kundananji trying to play it forward to Chanda. It's a flight to the Zambian supporters. They've got to throw on the halfway line. They will seemingly cheer anything.
Really, they will cheer anything at this point. They are excited, they are happy, their team is ahead.
Kundananji beats one, then another. Into Chilufya. Just hacked forward by Senegalese. Fatoumata Dramé for her first involvement. Forward they go, Ngena trying to just lift it over the top of Musole. Didn't manage to do so, but inventive, because that was a tricky opportunity. She had to really work to try and fix something, and nice idea.
Yeah, she tried to get something out of that ball. The pressure was on her, and I think she made the right decision because the defender.
Well, we saw Mama Diop score a goal like that against the Congolese outside the area, lobbing the goalkeeper. Tricky technique. She got it absolutely right on this occasion. Senegal not managing to do so. Kundananji cannot keep that in, just right in front of the Zambian bench and in front of our commentary position. You wonder when this game might slow down a tad. Ngena. Sek. Plays it forward to Diop. Does really well to show her strength to hold off Wemba. The handball in there from Chanda. Play on. Willoughby forward looking for Banda. Njai. Sit up. Right into the Amelia Sky. Kundananji was just pulled by Sané. No foul given. Throw into Zambia. And it continues to be end-to-end.
Yeah, continues to be entertaining, high tempo, and I think the Senegalese, they continue to leave their back very open for Zambians to continue to load those balls behind them.
She's just such a threat, this woman, Bernarda Banda. Whenever she's on the ball, and she gives the defenders here. Steepness like this, Chilufya. Chance at goal. Really important block coming in from Babu. Goes behind for a corner. She just spun away. Priska Chilufya, and a slight to a goal, the 26-year-old. But really smart defending by the Senegalese. Did exactly what she had to do. Mariam Babu, the 22-year-old. They just look so dangerous when they come forward. And it's at the back where they have the issues, as we've said before. Copper Queens going in search of a third. Into the middle it goes, just over Angie, and she gets really lucky as well because the ball just bounces back to her, but she came, she flapped. She's got a little bit of luck, and possibly deservedly so.
Yeah, she got a little bit of luck. I think she should have taken care of that whole area, but then she missed it, and then fortunately the ball just falls, in between her hands. So it was a lucky play right there.
It could not have gone into a better spot
Exactly.
for her. They start home with AS Bombay. Is Njai Aji. Scrappy in the middle, and Senegal wastes no time. Trailing just over a quarter of the game to go. Gena stopped resolutely once again by Tembo. It's putting in a really good shift down that left-hand side. Zambia are going to be making a change. Their first of the game. And Frida Mukoma, the 18-year-old forward, who came on in the opening game against Morocco and really impressed despite her age. And he's coming on and she's got just under 25 minutes or so to make an impact. Just 18. Maiden cap last year, scored a hat-trick in it. And it was only at the start of her last year that she was called up by the under-17s, and she's already based in China in the Chinese Women's Super League. She's on. Kundananji charging forward. She needs to play it. She has played it. She just delayed the pass by a fraction otherwise. Zambia were in behind Chilufya. Here's Banda. Options in the middle, a bit of space as well. Well, here we go. She's just come onto the pitch. Oh, she can't wriggle her way through. What an impact that would have been from Mukoma. As I said a moment ago, Chilufya was through on that inside right channel. It just needed a pass, just needed to come a bit earlier in their career.
Yeah, and then she delayed that pass just by a few seconds. Kundananji, if only she did stay earlier, I'm sure they would have made something out of it.
An anxious look on the face of Zambia's Swiss coach, and she will be very, very keen for a second goal to put this game to bed. They say a second goal is in a 2-goal advantage. And Sek plays it in, and up goes Jock, and that's exactly why she's looking worried. And Jock throws, and there was a really good cross in as well. But Jock cannot add to her goal tally. And it stays Zambia 2, Senegal 1. And on this occasion, Masori got enough on it.
That was a very good delivery. She made a good contact. If only she had directed it away from the goalkeeper, I'm sure that ball would have gone in. But good save by the goalkeeper, by the way.
Well, that just shows you what happens when you put Diop central, far more involved. It's her standing right foot. Gambo, Sole. There's all 3 games at the Paris Olympics for Zambia. Conceded 13 goals. That's remarkable. Game against Australia, where the Zambians led and then lost by 6 goals to 5. And they scored their third Olympic hat-trick in that game. They've got a free kick on the right-hand side in a promising position, and that's a yellow card as well. The foul. She's not going to be forgetting this game, I don't think. Satu foul. Just 17. This is just a brilliant learning opportunity for her. She has acquitted herself admirably in the 70 minutes we've had so far. So Rolombe can put this in. Canada in there. Chalupia as well. Wemba. He can score from set pieces as well. And the Copper Queen trying to copper-shirted player. Studious look on the face of the 27-year-old. Swinger in deep. She's come again. Adji, she's missed again. And Adji just knows exactly what she's doing there. Lets it go out of play in the corner on this near side. But Adji, having started so well, is not looking so good from these crosses.
Yeah, I think since after she considered that goal, the second goal, I think she haven't really, gotten back to herself. We've seen her, put up all those aerial goals, and ever since she considered that goal, she hasn't really, gotten it right.
Well, she's got more defending to do, and they put this deep Zambia. You might find she does the same thing, or will she get a proper connection, or two hands on it? They take it short on this occasion. Wilombe, she does go deep, and up goes Adji. She does really well. Two solid hands on it, and then she instantly tries to release Malondo. But he comes straight back, and she might be better holding on to that. Kundananji down the right-hand side, Banda in the middle. Zambia coming forward, looking for a third, and it's turned behind for a corner. And she wasn't offside, Kundananji. Banda was ready to pounce. And Senegal are rocking. To the delight of the band of Copper Queen supporters, who have given absolutely everything in support of their side. She did very, very well there. Senegalese team goalkeeper. She's going to face more pressure again here. And once again, a very congested 6-yard box. All right in front of the Senegalese stopper. Chalupia right next to her. Banda not too far away. Wemba as well. Wilombe with the delivery. We've got header away from foul. Makoma. Wilombe. Nice back on. Midfielder into Makoma's path. And she get the cross in there. 4 Zambian players in the middle. And here's Kundananji, really good save. But it's not enough because the ball comes back out to Barbara Banda, who scores Zambia's third, her second, her third of the tournament. And finally, the Copper Queens put daylight between them and the Lionesses of Senegal. Well, Adji could prevent Kundananji, but the trouble is that Banda is there as well. And for the third time today, even though only 2 of them have counted, Zambian striker has got the ball in the back of the net. This time it counts, of course. And Zambia now lead by 3 goals to 1. She made it look supremely calm and easy. And the celebration shows just what that meant to Barbara Banda.
Yeah, it meant a lot. And what a goal that was. I think Ndiaye, the Senegalese defense should have taken care of that. If you're keeping players on side, you don't leave 4 of them at one and in front of your goal. Four opposing players in front of your goal, and you're on the other side of the goal. That doesn't. It's not a good defending in any way, and I think they should have taken care of it. And even when Adji, made that save on the 90, the defender should have cleared out of. Fortunately for Banda was there to just have it an easy tapping. What a goal that was, and it's obviously good to go. At this point, they lead by 3 goals to 1, so I don't think Senegal is actually coming out of this.
Well, Senegal could have gone through with victory today. Trail by 2. They've been blown away. It's just been relentless from Zambia in their bid to go forward. It's been an absolute delight to watch. And they have deservedly edged themselves in front with some comfort now. And Well, Houseway not looking quite so anxious. There's been a substitute for Senegal while that goal and the celebration and kick-off was happening. Sek, who was on that yellow card, coming off. And Sadi Gatu Jallo, the 22-year-old midfielder, in her place as Job picks it up. That's header from Job and that save from Musole. A few moments ago looking so important now. Banda, Kundananji steaming forward in the middle. Here is Banda looking for Kundananji. She can't find her, and that'll go out for a Senegalese goal kick. But the desire of Kundananji to burst through the middle is very noticeable there.
Yeah, I mean, her pace is incredibly amazing. She runs really fast, and I mean, you can see how she was, able to run all the way. Unfortunately, Barbara just couldn't get the ball across.
Is there any combination that links so well in this WAFCON? We will find out between now and the final, 26th of July, of course. But at the moment, it's not looking like it. And the risk of repetition, they are two of the three most expensive women's players of all time. So, is it any huge surprise? Mokoma into Chilufya. Chilufya plays it back. They don't often go backwards, but they did on that occasion. And here is Chilufya. To the byline she goes. Mokoma's in the middle. And Mokoma should have made it 4. Oh, she will not want to see that again. Pitch perfect delivery for her from Piska Chilufya. And the young 18-year-old could not gobble up the opportunity given her way. Thoughts desire on a horror miss from the substitute.
What a miss.
Well, hold that thought because again has gone through and Senegal have got a penalty because Musole has brought down Ngena. And now they're calls as well for some sort of a caution. It's just going to be yellow for Musole. And Ngena Njai, who scored Senegal's opener, seems like a long time ago now, has won her side a penalty. And I said how hard Zambia had worked to get their 2-goal lead. They might find it reduced again. We talk throughout this game about end-to-end action, just when Mokoma. We should have been talking about our horror miss. Instead, we're talking about a penalty at the other end.
Exactly. And minutes ago, I was talking about how Zambia have put this to bed, but right now it doesn't look like it. I mean, Senegal have a penalty, which if they convert, and I mean, it still leaves the game very open, And then it's one miss from the other end, and then it's an opportunity on the other end. And Mokoma have definitely had a direct impact on the game since she came on, but I mean, missing that easy tap in, it's unbelievable. And what a great delivery from
Chilufya. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Musole is down. She absolutely took out Ngena Njai. They swept forward at pace to the Senegalese, responding from that wasted miss that would have put the game to bed. And instead, Senegal can give themselves a massive lifeline and way back into this game just when it looked like they were down and out. Musole has been shown the yellow card. Zambia fans not by their goalkeeper. And just a little touch from Ngena. And boom. And she came an awfully long way from her goal, Musole.
Yeah, I mean, she should have done better. She was late, and what a bad tackle that was. And going up, kudos to Senegal. They're doing everything to make sure they stay in this game, and they're really, giving in everything and fighting.
Well, she scored 2 goals in the opening game. Ngena Njai, the 30-year-old, and she could become repeat the feat. Now this needs to go in for the Senegalese. They lost on spot kicks to Zambia in 2022. Is presenting an opportunity to get themselves back into the game. Up Specs and get her in Jai, and she makes no mistake. The Solly went the right way. Get her in Jai grabs her second of the game. And with 10 minutes on the clock, it is Zambia 3, Senegal 2. And we may just have a grandstand finish that this game deserves. It has been pulsating from the start. And Genar's coolly take a penalty. Means we've got an edgy finish. Again, an exciting one, we hope.
Yes, I mean, what an exciting game it's been. 5-goal thriller, and we can still see some ball. It's really an amazing game. So, and I think with this Senegal is willing to fight some more and see if they can get an equalizer from this.
What is left? That's the question. It's had a lot. Senegal denied a penalty earlier. They scored this one. We've had an open goal missed. We haven't had a red card, thankfully. And Senegal coming forward now. And Ghana enjoying again. Alondo at the back post if she can find her. Instead, Misole gets her hands on this one. The Zambia fans try then blow their vuvuzela, clap their hands, and possibly more in relief than anything. But he's so down that right flank and Ghana enjoying. How on earth is she playing in the third tier of French football?
I don't understand. Maybe back in with what we've seen from her so far, she deserves to play at the top, and maybe with a good intent, she can make that move.
Lovely skill from Sané to lift it away from Makoma. And then she's in again and Ghana enjoy. Well, this is a repeat of just a moment ago. Alondo in the middle, tries to just go round and didn't deliver it and get up. And there'll be a throw and nothing more to the Senegalese who are fighting to remain unbeaten in this competition. And Zambia do make life difficult for themselves with the amount of goals they concede. And it has happened again. Sané with the throw. Kundananji with the tackle and just a little bit of feist between Sané and Kundananji. Kundananji not giving the ball back. Over comes the referee. Bandit coming to have a word with Kundananji. And she'll be advised just to tell their teammate just to step away. This is needless. But it tells you everything about the tension on the pitch right now.
Yeah, emotions are very high. I mean, both teams, they are very, I don't know, tension is obviously high, and I mean, they're just battling it out today.
I thought she was going to do a drop ball at one point, so I couldn't understand why, but it was going to be quite an interesting one to see between the two players that had a tussle. Instead, Sané just holds it back to Jai. Forward. Into striker goal and just straight at Misole. From Jallo, the substitute, didn't get everything behind it to the yes. But it was a smart ball into the box and she turned well enough. She just couldn't get the power to beat the Zambian goalkeeper. Here's Makoma, dispossessed. Ungena, dropping the Malado 2. Ungena, she drops her shoulder again and then tries to beat Mwemba. Back into Jallo. Good defending there from Makoma. Forward, who's come back to help out in defence in the penalty area. And Zambia making hard work of this. They should be out of sight. Instead, they are clinging on at the moment for what will be their first win of the campaign. Swung in by Corker foul. I think Zambia caught another in the face with a high boot. Well, the game's being played on and Kundananji is just charging forward. Another puff, but there's going to be a break in play here. It was Mwemba who went to clear it. And she caught, I think it's
Holy
in the head.
cow.
And who's down in the penalty area, hasn't moved. I hope she's okay, of course. It gives To a bit of thinking time as well as to whether she might want to tighten this up somehow. I can't imagine Zambia making defensive moves and trying to solidify things, but arguably that's what she could and should be doing.
Yeah, that is it. Because right now, Senegal, they're throwing in everything they've got to see if they can get something out of this game. So I think on the part of the Zambian coach, she should, tighten things up and make sure they don't succeed.
Zambia are looking for their first win in any game, friendly or competitive, since April when they beat Uzbekistan in an in China some 5 games ago. They were 2-1 up against the Moroccans with just 3 minutes to play before Rizlain Chavat scored that stunning equaliser. And then the Moroccans really thought they could go on and win it, unlikely as that was. 2-2 it ended, of course, in the opening game in Group A and of the tournament. Lungu thankfully back up, just trudging around the distant edge of the pitch before she's going to be able to come on. It means we're going to get a little bit more additional time. It's going to only add to the tension. Senegal long towards John. Now Chula filling in the left back. Lungu coming off. And McGenna has just shoved the ball in the face of Rachel Nachula. And things are just threatening to spill over. Banda having a word with the referee, trying to point that out. And Kundananji is telling McGenna just to calm it down. Well, just a moment ago, it was Kundananji who needed calming down. It's all beginning just to bubble up. They're going to spill over into that.
That's the frustration. I mean, Uganda wants the ball to get in play quick because she's losing. She wants the ball on the field, and Zambia is taking their time because they are leading. So it's well understandable.
3 minutes of the regulation, 90 to go. Zambia, who kicked us off in the game of the tournament against Morocco. This is arguably a cliff step. Kundananji can't get the header. Lungu forward, trying to play in with Koba. Foul leaves it to Adji. Adji will just pump this forward. And Chula will pick this up, but she won't, because it comes to Ngena. No one around her. She just falls back, but she needs to go inside, which she does. To the right-hand side to Jallo, the substitute. Sané delivers this deep up towards Chop again. Masole comes, spills it, and still it's not clear, and still Senegal come forward. It's desperate stuff in the back. Wemba, Kalka foul for Senegal. Twist and turn from Malada. That's really nice play from her. And her shot is smothered. And then Zambia will pick it up with Mukoma after a nice touch from Chilufya, but there's another player down, which means that the player's going to be held up again. Malado did really well there over on the far side in a really crowded area to wriggle and find the shot to get the space to get the shot away.
Yeah, she actually did, and that's the pressure we're talking about. I'm glad that Senegal, they are giving in everything, and now Zambia is the one under pressure. They're trying to defend the one goal that Senegal is throwing in everything at them. So this is very tense now, and fight with is very entertaining.
I wonder if that's going to be looked at, because not that one so much, but the challenge from Lungu on so much going on. Remember the player down. Zambia fans in full voice. You can only imagine what they'll be like in a full stadium in Lusaka. Smattering of them where they are, and have been making themselves heard throughout the 90 minutes, the last of which we are now in. And we had 7 minutes of additional time at the end of the first period. I wonder what we're going to get on this end of the second period. Remember, just waiting to come back on. Kundananji forward to Makoma, comes off her back. Sané, Lungu, Wilombe, out towards Chilufya. Headed away towards Malado, but picked up by Lungu. Chilufya. She can deliver a good cross, as we've already seen. She's under pressure from Malado, who comes back the Senegalese. Wide player, offensively. Banda tries to play it forward, but only plays it into the back of Mary Willombe. And then she captures her opposite number, Melba Banda. Diop. There will be 10 additional minutes at the end of this game. Well, Zambia don't do things easy. And it's a long time for them to hold on. And, well, we had Senegal rocking a few moments ago. Now it's the Zambia backline. Forward it goes. Ungar sniffing. Ungar. She's got it back as well onto her left foot. Teed up to Corker foul. And foul cannot keep it down. And that was an opportunity. She was well found. And one of Senegal's chances, last chances, goes begging.
And I mean, she should have brought that on target. That should have come on target. Then back to the play, she should have done better with that.
Well, Humphrey's face has got that familiar, worried look on it again. She's been coaching since 2009. She's been a TV pundit at home as well. She's watching on in real discomfort as she looks for her first win at a WAFCON. She guided Ghana in qualifying and got them here. And then the opportunity came to take charge of the side that finished third last time around and went to the Women's World Cup, of course, as well. What an opportunity. She's living dangerously, as is that side. And that's taken a deflection and gone back behind for a corner. Jallo been really involved, the 22-year-old, since she's come on. So it's the second minute of the 10. Sane will deliver this. A height of Joppa, obvious target. So too Ngena, of course. Corker foul, also a towering presence in that Zambian area, but it's going to find a copper-shirted player, a white one. And McCullough just hits it up where Anna Cisse. Looks like a goalkeeper, such as his desire to bring the ball back into play. That's what you want from your coach.
Of course, when you're losing, what choice do you have? Bring the ball back on the field. Let's play.
Yeah. Sane. Oh, lovely footwork from Sane. To go fast, Barbara Banda, no less. And Machula touches it up. And this is a throw to Senegal, deep inside Zambian territory. And Cisse in charge in 2019. There's another Cisse in charge of Senegal, given a lot of time. And he went on to win the men's AFCON. Sure that Mama Moussa Cisse can only dream of emulating his counterpart Aliou Cisse, who of course led Senegal's Teranga Lions, not Lionesses, to their first ever Nations Cup title in Cameroon 3 years ago. Diop. That's a nice ball forward towards Malala, just too much on him. A lovely idea from Diop. Just too heavy a touch.
Yes, too heavy touch, and the pressure keeps building. Pressure keeps building. I don't know for how much longer Zambia is going to hold on to this, but Senegal is throwing in everything.
Well, we're so used to seeing Zambia just pile on the pressure, but now it is the Senegalese who are doing exactly that. Foul. Did that come off the Zambian player? I think it did, and I think this is going to be a corner to go the West Africans' way. They're taking their time to decide the officiating crew. But it has indeed gone to the Lionesses of Teranga. And another opportunity to test the Zambian defence. They've taken it short. Swung in. Up goes Diop, straight up for Solé. She's such a focal point, Diop, and she often gets her head on it as well, and often finds the target as well. Impressive in the air.
Yes, impressive in the air. She had the height, and I think over time she's really what she knows that's one of her strengths, and she utilizes it very well.
And here's Banda trying to get away from Diop. Diop doggedly sticking to her. Then Angie can't get onto her because Njai gets it away. And Angie pays it up to foul. Miscontrol from the Senegalese. Chaloufia. Looked to deliver across it. Could have Angie's unmarked, or was, until Sané came back to pick her up. Well, this is sensible play for Chilufya. Game management, just taking it to the corner flag to lighten the load on Zambia's defence, relieve some of the pressure. I think that's the first sort of negative move I've seen from Zambia all game. And I think in the end they've actually awarded a... Is that a free kick that's gone Senegal's way? Yes, it is. And they've taken it as well. Njai, the pressure from Kudinaji here. Made light of that pressure. With Waymata Njai. And then Jallo absolutely unceremoniously dumped over by Banda. Senegal take the free kick quickly. Same. Ingena. Trying to find a way past Nachula. Sane again. Jallo. Chop in the middle. And that is incredibly high. Not very handsome. Zambia will have a goal kick. You're smiling for that.
Yeah, I mean, she should have done better with that ball. When you're losing, you've got that opportunity in that opponent's goal area. You should take your time. What's the worst that can happen? They will kick you, right? So try and put the ball down and see what you can make of it.
Absolutely. Put it in the mixer,
Yeah.
see what comes out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just under 4 minutes to go. Zambia knocked Senegal out in the last 8, 3 years ago. On the verge of not doing so, but slowly winning again. Just needed a touch. Foul survives. Babu long up towards Job. Really good defending that by Baluba. That doesn't lead to a task. That Job, I think, is straight offside, and this will be a free kick to Zambia. And it will just stop that Senegalese momentum once again. Senegal taking on Morocco on Saturday night. Morocco playing the Democratic Republic of Congo in just, well, exactly an hour from now, in the evening game. The group is going to look very different after that one, but at present, Zambia are going top with 4 points. Should it stay like this, Senegal will remain on 3, and then Morocco on 1, and the Congolese on 0. And they'll be looking to amend that when those two latter sides meet in the capital, Rabat. Banda, bit of space. Driving forward, roared on by the Zambian supporters. Kundananji playing the blocker to ensure that the Senegalese opponent can't get anywhere near Banda, and Banda's gone to the corner flag, and this shows you exactly what this result will mean to Zambia. Can they get over the line? Banda's down, and Senegal have got another free kick. You're asking why? Jallo just getting on with it. She's then brought down by Chilufya. Senegal have a free kick. Tick into the 99th minute of this hugely entertaining WAFCON game.
Yeah, I think Zambia is trying to manage this game, and so far they've done really very well. And you could see Kundananji blocking off a defender from getting to Banda.
Well, you can see she plays in the United States, can't you? I've rarely seen that Makoma through the middle, but Jayaji was really well positioned to read that. Gone high, plays it up to Job. And Gunnar through the middle. Well, that's well read by Martha Tembo. Interesting that Tembo and Nachula and switch flanks. Kundananji tratters into Njai. Play on, says the referee. Pumped forward by Drame. And then high by Saleh up towards Malado, and she was too forceful, the Senegalese number 17. And that'll be a free kick to Zambia. 50 seconds or so on the clock. That might just be enough. They will take their time here.
They will definitely take their time. They don't really want to, keep the Senegalese at bay, and it has worked for them so far. We could say Banda is no longer playing forward since we pulled back on, and she's, done the defensive work very well, and they are now doing it as a team collectively, and it's been able to win this game.
A little push in the back, you can clearly see from Malado on Mark. And Tembo is taking her time here. I would have thought, really, what they want to do is just get this game done and dusted. We don't know, of course, how serious the injury is. And it's going to be a change, but stretcher is on the field of play. There's a Zambian substitute being warmed up. And she's very carefully lifted here. Turkey based Tembo. You can see heavy breathing from the likes of Kundananji. As Martha Tembo gets stretching off the field. I'll be interested to see if she's okay. We clearly hope she is. It didn't look that tricky, but who knows how she fell.
Yeah, it didn't look that serious, but now she's been stretched out on the field, and looks like they're going to stop her, so I don't know, perhaps fatigue or maybe she was injured.
In the 102nd minute we now go into. How much time is there going to be? All eyes on the referee. Now Senegal got a dramatic equaliser in the foul. Forward, up towards Malanan, who was just up against Tembo in this position. Onto her right foot, Malanan strikes a goal with it. Doesn't beat the Zambian defender, and Banda just hacks it up towards the halfway line. Mukoma. Space on this right-hand side for Sané. We'll get to Wilombe with a really crucial touch that takes it out. Out of play where Senegal pick it up and get up. To the byline she goes into the middle and she can't get the cross right. And is that it? Was that the moment for Senegal? Well, there's going to still be time for a Zambia substitution. Margaret Balemu dropped for this game. Is on. Tembo is off. Surely, we are moments away from Vincentia Amidomo Togo, the official in the middle, putting her whistle to her lips. Zambia holding on against that gutsy Senegal side. And there it goes, Zambia beaten Senegal by 3 goals to 2 in a hugely entertaining WAFCON game. Rachel Kundananji sinks to her knees in celebration. Their coach Nora Hamplet congratulating all the staff. It was hard fought for the...
The Premier League is one of the most unforgiving environments for football managers. Just ask Ange Postecoglou. Winning the Europa League wasn't enough for the Australian to save his job at Tottenham, overseeing one of their worst ever Premier League seasons. Postecoglou didn't fare much better at the helm of Nottingham Forest, setting records for all the wrong reasons. Nottingham Forest offered Ange Postecoglou a second chance in the Premier League, an opportunity to right the wrongs from his final season at Tottenham. Spurs lost a record 22 games last term, but Postecoglou only had to wait 3 months before landing his next job, inking a contract with Forest to 2027.
Yeah, really excited. It's obviously great to be back in the Premier League, but great to be in charge of a club with such storied history, who I firmly believe are on their way up, and I think it's a great place for me to be.
Postecoglou was hired to end the club's 35-year trophy drought, and the Australian has a proven track record when it comes to winning silverware.
Something I want to double in my first year, so
Can win in your first?
yeah, well, of course I can. Yeah. I mean, I may have to have a second year here, mate. So yeah.
But just 8 games into his tenure, Postecoglou was relieved of his duties at the City Ground, setting an unwanted record in the Premier League. Postecoglou lasted just 39 days in the Forest dugout, making it the shortest reign of any permanent manager in Premier League history. And of all the managerial stints in the Premier League era, only interim Leeds United boss Sam Allardyce lasted fewer days than Postecoglou. Results were poor from the outset, failing to win any of his first 7 games, something that no Forest manager had done in over 100 years. The walls were closing in on the 60-year-old, whose criticism at Tottenham was mirrored during his brief time in Nottingham, an unwavering commitment to a style of play.
There's only one way to fix that, and that is, I don't think it's, going away from what we're doing, that's for sure. We've just got to keep doing what we're doing, and I'm really confident that the results will come.
But Saturday's 3-0 home defeat to Chelsea was the final straw for Postecoglou, sacked by owner Evangelos Marinakis just minutes after the final whistle. Forest failed to win any of its 8 games under his guidance, leaving the tricky trees in the relegation zone on just 5 points. From his appointment on September 9 to his sacking on October 18, Ange Postecoglou lasted a mere 39 days at Nottingham Forest, setting an unwanted record in the Premier League. Coming up, proposed Premier League salary cap and Ronaldo's scoring record.
Get more sports documentaries. Get news as it happens. The story behind every moment that matters. Watch now.
The Premier League will decide whether to introduce cost-limiting measures when club representatives converge at a shareholders' meeting next month. According to reports, all 20 clubs will vote on a potential salary cap, limiting what teams can spend regardless of their income. The top-to-bottom anchoring model would restrict clubs to spending 5 times what they earn from prize money and broadcast revenue on wages and transfers. The formal vote on the salary cap proposal will take place on November 21, with Manchester City and Manchester United reportedly against the idea. Portugal captain Cristiano Ronaldo has broken yet another goal-scoring record, adding to his impressive tally at international level. The 40-year-old scored twice in Portugal's 2-2 draw against Hungary last week to become the top goal scorer in World Cup qualifying history. It took Ronaldo to 41 goals in World Cup qualifying, moving him clear of the previous record holder, former Guatemala striker Carlos Ruiz. 5-time Ballon d'Or winner is now on a staggering 949 career goals, 51 away from reaching the magical 1,000 goal mark. Fans of Maccabi Tel Aviv have been banned from attending next month's Europa League game at Aston Villa. According to Villa, Birmingham's Safety Advisory Group has advised supporters of the Israeli club to stay away from the fixture on November 6 over safety concerns. The decision has drawn condemnation from politicians, including British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who's doing everything in his power to overturn the ban. England's #1 goalkeeper Jordan Pickford has pledged his future to Everton, signing a new long-term contract. Pickford, who joined from Sunderland in 2017, will take his stay with the Toffees to 12 years after extending his existing deal to 2029. The 31-year-old has won all of his 83 Lions caps while at Everton, making 327 appearances for the Merseyside club. Pickford kept a record 9th consecutive clean sheet for England in their recent win over Latvia, taking him past a year without conceding. Three Real Madrid youngsters have been nominated for the 2025 Golden Boy Award, given to the best player under the age of 21. Los Blancos trio Dean Howson, Arda Güler and Franco Mastantuono are among the 25 players shortlisted, to equal most nominees for one club. Previous winners of the award include Lionel Messi, Wayne Rooney, Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland, Jude Bellingham, and most recently, Lamine Yamal. Alessandro Nesta knows a thing or two about defending, one of the finest centre-backs Italy has ever produced. So Nesta's opinion on defending holds considerable weight, and he believes Liverpool captain Virgil van Dijk stands above the rest in the game currently.
Van Dijk is the best because perform every year the same level. He play in the Premier League, the biggest league in the world for me, and the toughest, and for me the best.
And it's hard to argue given what Van Dijk has accomplished during his 7 years at Liverpool, skippering the Reds to the Premier League title last season. Aston Villa's resurgence has continued with a 2-1 win at Tottenham. Inform Erling Haaland bagged another brace as Manchester City beat Everton, while Leandro Trossard's second-half goal gave Arsenal a gritty 1-0 victory over Fulham.
It took us a while to get into the game with some very unusual giveaways that has caused some transitions, and after that we started to dominate the game throughout the rest of the game much better. We were better and better and managed to win the game and another cliche.
Harry Maguire's late header earned Manchester United a huge 2-1 win over Liverpool at Anfield, as the Red Devils notched back-to-back victories in the Premier League for the first time under Ruben Amorim.
I don't have many wins in Manchester, so this is really important. It's back-to-back, like you said, it's an Anfield. That is really important. All these small things today was perfect. Let's try to do that in the next week.
I think if you play United, there's so many quality players they have, brought in a few new ones this summer. And if they come to us in the low block, playing so many long balls, then the last thing you would want is going 1-0 down.
The second-half double from Anthony rescued a point for Real Betis against Villarreal. Barcelona needed a late goal to overcome Girona, while Kylian Mbappe's strike 10 minutes from time gave Real Madrid a hard-fought 1-0 win over Getafe. Nico Paz scored one goal and set up another as Como heaped more misery on Juventus. Giovanni Simeone came back to haunt Napoli by scoring the only goal in Torino's upset win, while Inter showed their title credentials with a 1-0 victory at Roma. Freiburg came from behind to draw 2-2 with Eintracht Frankfurt. RB Leipzig are now 6 games unbeaten after seeing off Hamburg, while Bayer Leverkusen prevailed in a 7-goal thriller against Mainz. Bayern Munich's perfect start in the Bundesliga has continued, beating Borussia Dortmund in the Klassiker to make it 7 victories from as many games. And the new boss Sebastian Papaniol.
Made up of Gladys and others. Some say it's a game. Others think it's because the rudder resembles the dorsal fin of a whale. Who knows?
At the end of the day, the two men get lucky and catch a tuna, albeit a small one.
We have to learn to live with them. If they steal our tuna, we'll keep fishing until they are full. Once they're full up, we'll keep fishing, but then for ourselves. First for them, then for us.
The orca's desire to interact is probably not a hostile act, and yet they've struck again. Skipper Raúl Blanco encountered them between Spain and Morocco.
Not one, but 6. One orca came, hit the boat and swam away. Then another came. It seemed as if the mother, the largest of the ones we saw, was teaching the others exactly where to strike. She was directing them under our boat.
After 20 minutes, they headed off. Now his boat needs a new rudder. A little later, another sailboat attacked by orcas was moored up in Barbate Harbor with rudder damage. On the Elsa, Renaud de Stefanis compares the location of the interaction with his satellite data and notices that the steamer sailed right through the killer whale's favorite hunting ground. The animals can't have gone far. An underwater microphone called a hydrophone should reveal if they are still close by. It picks up the orca's sonar. They must be near. Renaud uses a drone to pinpoint them. At first, he can only see a group of striped dolphins on his screen. But then, the drone camera captures an orca pod. Renaud adjusts his course and sets his sight on the orcas. It quickly becomes apparent that it's the Barbate group. The teenagers had grown quite a bit in the meantime. At the end of July, they attacked another yacht, which subsequently sank. But a number of mothers also seemed to be playing a role.
What we found at the beginning that only some of the individuals were interacting. And now what we know is that all the individuals are interacting.
So could there be something to the idea of an orca's uprising? Or is White Gladys exacting her revenge?
The orcas don't revenge. The orcas just eat, play, and make reproduction. They don't have any revenge things. And when you see what happens underwater, you will directly see that it's nothing aggressive. When one orca is pushing the rudder, the other ones are watching. So I think just sci-fi. It doesn't make sense really for me.
Renaud de Stefanis lives and works in a village between Algeciras and Tarifa. For a number of years now, he's been studying the structures of the orca pods that mostly spend the summer in the Strait of Gibraltar. He says 88 animals have been identified over that period.
That doesn't mean that there is 88 orcas in the street. That means that we have since almost 88 orcas that has been in the area. And many of them are probably dead. What we were able to see is that along this time, the structure of the population has changed a lot. What we see is that in 1989, 70% of the population were juveniles or cows. Then we passed in 2010 to just 35% of the population was juveniles of cows. And now we see that this is growing again since 2015.
Due to overfishing, tuna stocks declined rapidly from 2005 onwards. After that, the orcas had fewer offspring because birth rates correspond to food supply. When more tuna reappeared, so did more orca babies.
And these new calves were born without sisters and brothers. Therefore, they didn't have communication, they didn't have culture that came from their brothers and sisters, and they had to invent new games. And the new game was to play with the watching boat, with the research boat, and with the sailing boat. And they can push the rudder and by leverage break it, and therefore they got something fun.
Here's a video of this happening.
You see how they break the rudder. It's just like pushing the meat, they break the rudder.
So according to that theory, the whole thing could just be a game. But not everyone sees it that way. Even 8 months after the ocean race, skipper Jelle van Beek still has a very different memory of the interaction with the orcas.
First, it really felt like an attack because they hit the boat so hard. I've never seen the rudder spinning so hard when they hit the rudder. On the other side, there are amazing animals, but hopefully I wouldn't meet them again when I'm in a sailing race.
Thanks to a new insight, that could be avoided in the future.
Even if you see the orcas are all around, indeed there is a passage here that makes you be safe in the area. And if you go about 30 meters depth, like you see here, you will never have any problem with the orcas. And when we put the interaction we had in the last years in white here, we see that clearly the main quantity of interaction is placed when the orcas are. But we also see that if we follow this route, we shouldn't have any problem.
This also answers the question of why basically only one group makes trouble for the boats. Most of the interactions happen to take place in the barmate group's territory.
Thanks to the tagging, we know where they are, and we are able to create orca forecast. Thanks to that, we've been decreasing in 70 and 80% the number of interactions from last year to this year. And on the other side, the problem is almost solved in the strait because all the interaction could have been avoided because they were all in the critical area we are taking them out.
Let's hope that boats stick to that route. so humans and animals stay out of each other's way. I am everywhere. I flow through rivers, air currents, bodies. I am part of a system that promises progress, that invests millions to produce more of me. Yet the crisis grows with me. I am a product, a strategy. I am plastic fantastic. Can anyone stop me? In 15 minutes on DW. It still smells of roses and jasmine in Canache, where these fragrance oils are traditionally cultivated. Yet now, they are threatened by extreme weather fluctuations. Climate-resistant plants could save the perfume industry in northern India. Eco India. In 90 minutes on DW.
We are all set and we're watching closely. You're all in.
To bring you the story behind the news.
We're all about unbiased information.
For 3 months. Done.
You're watching DW News live from Berlin. Donald Trump lays out his vision for peace in Ukraine ahead of a potential meeting with Russia's Vladimir Putin. The U.S. president says he thinks front lines between the two sides should be frozen as top diplomats from Washington and Moscow discuss preparations for a summit in Hungary. Also on the program, Japan votes for a new prime minister, and for the first time, lawmakers are expected to choose a woman as the country's next leader. David Love, it's good to have you with us. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has spoken with Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov about next steps toward a resolution of Russia's war against Ukraine. The conversation comes ahead of an expected meeting between the U.S. and Russian presidents, Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, in Hungary. Speaking to journalists on board Air Force One on Sunday, Trump outlined some of his ideas for how a ceasefire could be achieved.
We think that what they should do is just stop at the lines where they are, the battle lines. You have a battle line right now, and the rest is very tough to negotiate. If you're going to say, you take this, we take that, there's so many different permutations. So what I say is they should stop right now at the battle lines. Go home, stop killing people, and be done.
What do you think should happen with the Donbass?
Let it be cut the way it is. It's cut up right now. I think 78% of the land is already taken by Russia. You leave it the way it is right now. They can negotiate something later on down the line. But I said, cut and stop at the battle line. Go home. Stop fighting. Stop killing people.
Now, reports suggest Vladimir Putin wants a final deal that involves changes to the current front lines. Moscow would reportedly be willing to give up small areas of the two southern frontline regions, Kherson and Zaporizhia, here in yellow. In exchange, Putin is said to want the full control of the eastern Donbass region, which is made up of Donetsk and Luhansk, shown in green. According to the Financial Times, Trump relayed Russia's demands to Ukraine's President Zelensky when they met at the White House on Friday. And the newspaper reports that the meeting descended many times into a shouting match, with Trump reportedly urging Ukraine's president to accept Putin's terms or be destroyed by Russia. Well, Donald Trump now says he doesn't think Ukraine will win the war. That's a sharp shift from his earlier optimism. Is this just Trump being Trump, or is he actually changing course now on Ukraine? A question I put to Rachel Rizzo of the Atlantic Council in Washington.
Well, I think he's gone back and forth on this for months now, and I think it goes to show that the president has has no real love for Ukraine, right? He doesn't necessarily want Ukraine to win. He wants his team to walk away with a win. And what a win looks like for him is some sort of negotiated settlement between Russia and Ukraine, even if that potentially means Ukraine signing a deal that maybe isn't in its best interests. And so I think what we've seen over the last few months is this flip-flopping by the Trump administration, sort of driven by events happening on the ground in Ukraine, but also driven by the fact that this team is clearly getting pretty frustrated with Vladimir Putin's unwillingness to really come to the table. So let's see what the next couple of weeks have in store on this particular front.
Now, reports say that Trump's meeting with Zelensky was very tense. How would you describe U.S.-Ukraine relations right at this moment?
I would say tense.